Welcome to Demon Hunter 101. This is episode 1 where I'm going to start to discuss what a medium is, what a medium does, and little bits of my experiences. Okay, so what is a medium? A medium is an individual with a whole lot of different psychic abilities. When they combine them all together, gives them the ability to see, to hear, to feel, and to communicate with beings that most people can't. Okay, you're on a much higher level of awareness. And what comes with that is your whole sensitivity to things. A lot of people that are highly aware are also highly sensitive. For myself, to sound, to, things that I see, even my emotions are just super amped up. And in one way, you have to be that way because you're dealing with beings that are far away. You really have to be able to listen and feel from a distance. Yeah. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is mediums are meant to cross over any souls that are lost that they come across along the way. That's what the whole light is. What is the light? If you want to look at it in terms of, Star Trek, the light is just a transporter. Boom, you're transported back. That's it. Whether you have access or not is dependent. It's dependent on if you're part of the crew or not. If you're not part of the crew, well, then you won't be given access, right? So let's move forward. So every time you guys see a picture or a video online that looks scary, that feels scary, what is really going on? Well, let me explain this. Every one of you are psychic to some degree. How psychic you are, I don't know. But if you're feeling that being, if you're sensing them, then you're a lot more psychic than you're aware of. So you're sensing them in a way that you're not used to. It's like you're feeling them beyond what you hear and what you see. And it's so unusual. You don't know how to really take that. I mean, it's exciting, it's scary. And and it ends there. But really what's going on is that you're sensing this being. Now, what happens when I look at a photo or a video of a being? You see it in a 3D way and feel it in a 5D way. I see it in a 5D way, feel it, and communicate with this being in a different way, right? So I reach out to them directly wherever they're at. Why some of these photos, why they look so horrible, is because you're looking at a distortion of a being. So imagine a being from the 1930s, and through time and space, that the photo distorts what they look like. It looks scarier than it is. And as a medium, I've learned that on so many different ways that you think it's something scary, you get up close, and no, it's a good being who just couldn't cross over, or was too scared to cross over because they didn't think they were, would be good enough to get through. So there's different reasons why you're seeing what you're seeing and feeling what you're feeling. And I will explain this. There are some that are not nice beings. Okay? So let's move forward. One of the times that I was online, I came across an article of some ladies that were visiting the Newsham Park Hospital. Well, that's what it was the last time it was open. And at that time, this place was a ghost, tourist place. So these ladies went and they had a picture taken. Now, I'm not showing you the picture that they took. I'm going to show you the picture of what I actually saw as a medium. Okay, so these ladies took this picture, and part of that picture, there was a woman in the picture, this ugly, distorted thing, and it was scary looking. It really was. Okay, so let me show you, when I looked at their photo, let me show you what I actually saw. So minus the women, because I didn't draw all the women in the photo, out of respect for them privately, this is what I actually saw. Okay, this is Abigail and George. Now, initially when I looked at these ladies' photo online of this weird distorted figure, this is what I actually saw. This is Abigail, okay? George, I didn't really see him initially because there was a woman standing just in front of him, so he was kind of hidden. But I heard this voice come through the photo say to me, "See, look, she sees us." And I'm going, okay, what's going on here? That's when George came forward and he said, "See, I told Abigail somebody would find us." So Abigail and George actually were at the same building because before it was that, before it was the Newsham Park Hospital, it was actually the Royal Liverpool Seamen's Orphanage. And what that was is in the late 18th century, early 19th century, anyone that went to sea would leave their children in this place. It was kind of like a daycare, okay? But not all the men came back from sea. So then it was also, a bit of an orphanage too. Now, after a while, that orphanage was closed, and then it became the Newsham Park Hospital, okay? So let me explain this. So George was telling me that his sister needed help. He knew that all these souls were trapped in time, and he figured it was the one way that they could, expose the truth. Because most people that go to these places are not mediums. So you can be in the same building and have different beings from different times in the same place. And that's basically what happened. So a lot of the souls that were, in that building were both from the mental hospital as well as the orphanage. So I went back to the time that it was an orphanage, and I helped to clear out a lot of the souls that were stuck there. And generally speaking, when you see situations like that, there's generally one or two not so nice souls that have been keeping others hostage, especially when you see groups. Now, as far as the mental hospital, when I cleared out the orphanage of everyone, I went forward in time, and then everybody that was in the hospital, most of them, it was because of lobotomies. One thing I tried to understand is that whatever happens to your body physically when you shed that body, your soul, okay, it's not affected by things. So for instance, if you have cancer while you're on earth, your soul does not have cancer. So what I really couldn't understand is why all these soul beings whose bodies had crossed, had passed and stuff, why their souls were acting like they had lobotomies when they didn't. I don't know. I thought that was kind of strange. But I helped a lot of them cross over. And that was one of my experiences of you can see a scary photo and things are not always as what you expect it to be. Okay, so what are demons? We hear a lot about them. We see them in movies. They're scary. They're their own thing. Demons are basically people that, just like you and I, they chose a different path. And some of them just keep going down that path and are nasty. And you don't want to be around them. So my next episode, I'm going to give some more examples of ghosts and things, especially famous ones that I've come across. Ones that, at one point people admired. And I'll give you a bit of background of what happened to them when they crossed or when they passed over. Okay? So stay tuned, because in the future I'm going to give a little bit more background, a little bit more knowledge on what's going on. And I promise you, it's not so easy and fun as it seems. It's easier to say it now after the fact, but I'll explain when I had a near-death experience with a demon. Talk to you soon.